By the end of this complete guide, you'll know exactly how to duplicate your Softr app, preserving every page, block, setting, and layout element in a perfect copy. Softr is a powerful no-code platform for building web applications, and duplication is one of those features that saves you enormous amounts of time when you want to create a variation of an existing app or simply need a safe backup before you start experimenting with major changes. If you find this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and let's get started. To begin, you need to log into your Softr account, so head over to the Softr website and enter your credentials. Once you're signed in and you see your main dashboard, look to the left-hand sidebar. There you'll find an option that says Applications. Go ahead and click that, and this will load up a full list of all the Softr apps you have built or are currently working on. This is your central hub, your launchpad, and it's where you manage every project you own. Take a moment to familiarize yourself with this view, because it's where you'll spend a lot of your time as you build and iterate. Now you need to locate the specific application you want to duplicate. Scroll through your list of applications until you find the one that contains the pages, blocks, settings, and overall structure you want to copy. This could be a finished app you want to use as a template for a new project, or it could be a current project you want to back up before you make risky changes. Once you have your cursor over that application, look to the right side of its row. You should see a small icon that looks like 3 dots, sometimes called a kebab menu or an ellipsis menu. Click those 3 dots and a drop-down menu will appear with several available options for managing that particular application. From that drop-down menu, you will see an option labeled Duplicate. Click on it. This action tells Softr to begin creating an exact independent replica of your selected application, including every single component you've built. It's crucial to understand that this is not a shortcut or a linked version, it's a completely separate copy. This means that any changes you make to the duplicated app later on will have zero effect on the original. It's a true fork, a perfect clone, and that gives you total freedom to experiment or to reuse your work without any anxiety. After you click Duplicate, Softr will start processing in the background. You'll likely see a brief loading indicator or a spinner. The amount of time this takes depends entirely on how complex your application is. If you have a simple app with just a few pages and minimal blocks, it may only take 1 or 2 seconds. However, if your app is large and contains many interconnected elements, custom code, or extensive data sources, you might wait a little longer. Be patient during this step. Do not refresh the page or navigate away, as that could potentially interrupt the duplication process. Just give it a few moments to finish its work. Once the process is complete, you'll see the new duplicate appear in your list of applications. It will likely have the same name as the original, but with the word copy appended to it. Or it might just appear with a generic duplicate label. Open it up and take a quick look around. You should see all the same pages in your sidebar, all the same blocks on each page, the same navigation structure, and the same settings you had configured in the original. This confirmation is important because it lets you know the duplication was successful and that you have a solid base to work from. Now you're ready to open the duplicated application fully and start making it your own. The very first thing I recommend you do is rename it. This might seem like a minor detail, but it's essential for keeping your workspace organized, especially if you plan on creating multiple duplicates or templates. Go into the app settings and change the name to something that clearly distinguishes it from the original, like Project Template or Backup from June. Once renamed, you can begin customizing the content. You can modify text, swap out images, adjust colors, or reconfigure your data source connections. The beauty here is that the entire architecture is already built for you. You don't have to rebuild the foundation every single time. Before you dive headfirst into major edits, I strongly advise you to perform a thorough review of the duplicated app. Go through each page and test the navigation. Click on every link and button and verify that all connected components, such as your Airtable or Google Sheets integrations, are still working correctly. Sometimes, depending on your setup, a duplicate might reference the same underlying data source as the original, which is perfectly fine, but you want to be sure everything is connected and behaving as expected. This review step is your safety net. It catches any small discrepancies before they become big problems during active development. Finally, keep in mind a few practical tips as you move forward. First, always rename duplicates immediately to avoid confusion, especially if you have multiple copies floating around. Second, consider using duplication as a way to create reusable templates for future projects. This can drastically speed up your workflow. Third, if you're planning a major overhaul of your app, duplicate it first. That way, if something goes wrong, you have a pristine backup to fall back on, completely untouched by your experiments. And most importantly, remember that the duplicated app is completely independent. You can delete it, modify it, or completely redesign it without affecting your original application in any way. You have now successfully duplicated your Softr app and created an exact copy of its pages, blocks, settings, and layout. This technique gives you flexibility, safety, and efficiency in your no-code development process. Whether you are building a second version of a client project or simply creating a safe sandbox to try new ideas, duplication is a tool you will use again and again. If you ever need to go through these steps again, feel free to save this video or revisit it anytime. Thanks for watching and happy building.